Okay, so this is Elderberry Farm. I've been trying to record. I am not good at this, so I'm just gonna do what I do and hopefully you guys like it. But I planted some seeds in February 13th, 14th, and in anticipation for spring and to get things going in my garden. And so I took some shots, as you saw when you were opening this video. Those are the seed starts that I started. So right now what I'm trying to do is harden them off, which means that I'm trying to get them used to the actual weather outside, so that when I do put them out in the garden, they are not burnt from the sun or wind burned from the wind. I'm trying to get them stronger. So the first thing I did was I started with the herbs that I wanted to grow. So I have cilantro, oregano, chamomile. I'm excited about that, so I can make our own teas. Calendula, peppermint, sage, thyme, tarragon, and yarrow. And then over here I have some romaine lettuce, and this is butter crunch lettuce. I have red onions there. I have one little pastillo pepper. I'm gonna have to replant those seeds. And then Walla Walla onions there. And over here I started peas. I'm really excited about that. They did really well. They didn't take very long to germinate. And then I have some more calendula that I put in a bigger pot here. So I'm just bringing them all out of the house and away from the grow lights and trying to put them in some natural lighting. This area here is actually where my dogs stay in the daytime, and it's great. If you live in Washington, you know how much rain they get, so this is kind of like their playhouse area. Let me turn it around. And it's a big mess, but it's perfect for the dogs. And we have to put new corrugated roofing on there, and just it needs fixing up, but this will work for now. We have to work with what you have. This is my cat. She does that a lot. She's a fat cat. I think she's been getting the mice in the area, which is why we got her. So she's doing a good job. And these are Roma tomatoes, and they are doing okay. You can see how leggy they are. It's kind of a lot of stem, and that's because they've been grown inside. I'm going to repot them. The interesting thing I learned about tomatoes is that there's these little fine hairs on the stem. I don't know if you can see them. No, kitty. And if you plant them deeper, those little hairs will actually turn into roots. So I'm going to repot these today, I think. And then this is my broccoli and cabbage, green cabbage. And hopefully this cat will not smush my plants. There is so much we need to do. There's so much that needs to be done. We've got, well, I just got done trimming the trees. I had the apple trees and the cherry trees, and so I had to trim those. I have some Japanese maples that need trimming. We finished building the house. That's a good thing. But we have trimming on that as well that needs to get done. So there's just lots and lots of stuff to do. So last year I harvested some potatoes with my granddaughters, and you know, we ended up not using all of them, and I put them like in this little box you have to let them kind of sit so that their skin gets thicker and so they don't peel so easily, and you don't want to dust off the dirt right away. You want to let that skin get thick, and then you can brush off the dirt. But anyways, so I put them in the pantry, and I put them in a little box. I covered them with paper so they wouldn't get exposed to light, because you don't want them to turn green. Anyways, totally forgot about them. So in my pantry, I have potatoes growing. So they need to go in the ground. They have long stems. I'll show you guys that later in a little bit. And they have long stems, so I don't want that to go to waste. So I'm going to plant those potatoes. And then I have some store-bought potatoes that are starting to get the little eyes on them. So I'm going to plant those and see. It's kind of an experiment to see if they grow. And then, let's see. And then maybe if we have time today, I rooted or propagated some fig clippings a couple years ago, and I'll try and link that. I gotta learn how to do that. Link that to this if you want to see how I did that. So I had 2 fig trees that I knew were going to have to come down because of the build of the property, and I was really kind of bummed about that. And I learned on a YouTube channel with Mike Kincaid, and I'll try and link that if I can figure it out. I'll try and link that. He's really, really good at propagating things. So anyways, I kind of followed his steps, and I took some clippings from my fig tree. I put them in a rooting hormone and put them in some kind of soil or shavings of some sort, and watered them really well and forgot about them, or not, left them there for a while. So what ended up happening is they developed roots, and I have several successful new fig propagations. I'll show you. I don't know what variety of fig this was. It stays green looking. The fig fruit stays green. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. And there's another one there. And there's more here. And then I have more in the greenhouse too. So I'm going to plant some of those, and hopefully they'll take. Now this one here, this big one, this one is actually a brown fig. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, I wish I should have saved the tag. But it's doing really well. I think I bought the shoot from Home Depot, and it did really well. So that needs to go in the ground. And there's the house that we built. That's just the outside. I am going to take you guys for a tour on the inside, but my son and his family has been living upstairs, and so I can't really show the upstairs area, but I will do a tour soon. Okay, so these are the potatoes. I buried them under here, and then I had bought these potatoes, and they were getting old, so I put them in here too. So I'm hoping they'll have some eyes and not gotten rotten. These are also potatoes I had bought. I put them in here. You can see. You can see they're getting eyes. So I'm going to put those in the ground and see if we can grow some more. But these here are the ones I grew and hid, and yeah, they need to go in the ground. So that's what we're doing today. So I just stopped my husband. He is working on creating a what, babe?
Worm farm.
A worm farm. Why, you might ask?
Why are we making?
Why are we doing? Why would you want to have a worm farm?
Well, okay.
Hold on. Let me turn it around.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Well, really, what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of washing the rock that I put in here because it's a little bit dirty.
Okay.
And so I'm going to wash it.
I thought worms like dirt.
Well, they do, but what I'm doing right now, I'll show you. What's going to happen, we can videotape it after. This is the upper bin that's going to have the soil and stuff in it. Mm-hmm. And I have a layer of weed fabric that I'm going to put on top of the rock. And then we'll put coconut coir, I think it's called. It's basically, you've seen the shredded coconuts, the bags, or the baskets that you'll hang, and they have that brown fabric. Yeah. That's a coconut coir. Oh. But some of it is either chopped up, which is what this is, or you can buy it in a sheet. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we put the coconut coir on top of it, and then that keeps the worms from going down into the rock and then ending up in the other bin, which is where the leachate goes to, which is the worm tea, I think they call it, like worm tea. So this is going to give us a combination of worm tea and worm castings.
Oh, okay. So what is worm tea? It's the castings with
well, the worm tea is the washout. Okay. When you add water some of it will wash out and go to the bottom. You don't want to add too much, and you don't want to use worm tea on your vegetable gardens, your edible stuff.
Oh, you
can
don't?
use it for all your, not really, because it has potential to have some they're not chemicals, but I'm not quite sure what they're called. But you don't, from what I understand, you don't want to use them on
Oh, I thought it was
on
going to
garden
help.
plants.
Oh,
But you can
okay.
use it on ornamentals. But the worm castings you can definitely use on the garden
Oh, okay.
plants. Yeah.
So how do you collect the worm castings?
Well, what you do is after the worms have been in there for a couple of months, you can start pulling it back after you've been feeding them. And you feed them all your table scraps except for your meat scraps. So plus, you know, if you go out and you trim the trees and you get leaves and that kind of stuff, you can use that to feed it as well. So you want to have nitrogen stuff, and then you also have your carbon, which is going to be any wood, small pieces of wood or wood chips or anything you might put in there. And the combination of the carbon and the nitrogen, and the ratio should be 4 carbon to 1 nitrogen, and that kind of creates your best compost. And then you put in the worms. Worms will be here next week, I think Wednesday, and we're going to use the red wigglers, and then we'll start throwing our food scraps in here, the eggshells, that kind of stuff. Some of it goes to the chickens, some of it goes to the goats, but generally the food scraps are going to go in here.
Okay.
And we want to get the best worms we can because that enhances our compost. And you can see out in the field out there, the blue tarp on the right is about 50 yards of compost that I'm working on right now. And so I'll be able to add the leachate and stuff to that as well, and that'll help compost it even better.
Okay.
So yeah, this is draining out a little bit here now. I still need to do another wash.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
So, okay, so you have the rock, and then you're going to put the fabric down that
On top of
will
that,
keep the worms from going down.
Yep.
And then you're going to put the coconut core on top.
On top, yeah.
And then you moisten that, or what?
Yeah, well, the coconut is over there being moistened right now.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, there's one being moistened. They come in bricks. I couldn't get the big bricks. That you can buy large ones on Amazon, but I just went to Home Depot, and I bought they're like 4x8 bricks of coconut coir. It doesn't say coir on it, but it's an organic material. And each brick makes about 8 quarts of the mixed stuff. So you'll see here in just a minute. I'll take you over there.
Okay. Make you famous. Oh, he's giving a call. Run for cover, he said. Okay, go.
Okay, so what we have here is I bought 2 of these bins. These are the 38-gallon bins at Home Depot, and they're pretty pricey. They're $31 a piece today. I was surprised, but the price of everything is going up right now, really bad. And anyway, so we had these 2 big bricks on hand, and so what I did is I took the first bin in the bottom, and I put a 1/2-inch coupler with a sealing O-ring here, and then a faucet down on this end right here that you can see.
Oh.
And so this little faucet will allow us to drain any excess water that comes out of here, but mainly it's going to allow us to get the worm tea.
Okay. There's our fan club. Got the girls working in the garden with us, tilling the soil.
They're doing their thing. Oh, they're working that one.
We're getting ready to
That's our
plant.
cultivation crew, isn't it?
Yeah. Deciding where we're going to put everything this year. Getting the beds ready for another garden. And oh, this is a new plant. Can anybody tell me what kind of plant that is?
Oh, baby.
Can you tell me what kind of plant this is? It's unusual. Oh, my friends.
Oh, righty.
All my friends are hanging out with me.
Lucinda is one happy chicken, man.
learning to homestead, starting a garden, and taking care of animals. It's easy to get caught up in the stress of keeping up with the activities of a small farm. This past year, we finished building our house. As we move on to other projects and adventures, it's important to remember to stop and take time to take in the beauty that comes with nature, the comedy of keeping animals, and just sit and enjoy the blessings that God has given us. We are truly blessed. Thanks for watching Elderberry Farm Life.